On a personal note, I must say you've surprised me, my far eastern friend. Oh. Despite being a Nipponese, you saw through the pretense to the malice that festered within that Englishman, and at the same time saw through the grime to the surprising heart of your English client. I have a curious talent for judging character, especially considering our very different cultures. I don't think there's anything curious about it. If we're from the Empire of Great Britain, or the Empire of Japan, we're all human beings. We're not so very different on the inside. You know, I took this case for one very simple reason. Lock swords with you once again, here in the courtroom. You did? When I encountered you for the first time 2 months ago, it reminded me of toasting friendship and trust with another Nipponese, only to find my trust betrayed. Through you, I hope to look into the eyes of the man I once knew, and try to understand. Interesting. You mentioned something similar earlier today, about total betrayal at the hands of the Japanese. What happened exactly? Well, you may ask. And one day, when the time comes, you will learn the answer, whether you like it or not. Alright, then I'll wait for that day if I must. Coming to be known as the Reaper of the Bailey, and my retirement from service 5 years ago, it gives me cause to wonder, our meeting has some deeper purpose. So, farewell, my learned Nipponese fellow, until we meet again. of April, 5:24 p.m. The Old Bailey. Defendant's Antechamber. It's done. It's over at last. But where's Iris disappeared to? Ah. Congratulations, Gina. I knew it all along. I knew that you were innocent. Well, you did what you said, Mr. Naraoda. You believed in me, right up to the end. You're as odd as your name. What's odd about it? Told you I had faith in you, didn't I? No one ever has before, see? Kept a promise, I mean. Properly. That's awful. I figured something out today. All my life growing up in the slums, I've never trusted no one. That's just because I've been scared of being stabbed in the back. I mean, the more you trust someone, the more it hurts when they let you down. Yes, I think I can understand that. After all, I had a taste of it in that trial 2 months ago. I chose to trust someone and paid for it. The betrayal left a big scar. You know though, Gina, I worked something out quite recently too. Trusting in someone else is really an exercise in learning to trust yourself. When your gut tells you it's the right thing to do, and your trust is rewarded. There's no better feeling in the world. I think I have you to thank for reminding me of that valuable lesson. Oh, well, if you say so. Don't make a fat lot of sense to me, though. I'm trying to say that putting my faith in you, Gina, it's been a real pleasure. For crying out loud, pack it in. But I suppose I sort of feel the same way. I mean, sometimes trusting someone else is, you know, alright? Thanks. This is the way I see it, Ryo. A defense lawyer is only as good as his faith in his client. And that comes down to how much faith he has in himself. After this experience, I'm starting to feel like I understand what you mean. Kazuma, am I living up to your expectations? Am I turning out to be the lawyer you believed I could be? Pardon the interruption. There he is. What the deuce does a man have to do to be noticed around here, my dear fellow? That voice. It's too late for that voice now, Mr. Naruhodo. I've been standing here patiently in the corner of the room for an eternity. Ah, yes, it was me all along. I would have said when finally you noticed me. But you people, with your incessant babbling. Mr. Shlomes? Ah, yes, it was me all along, you see? Oh dear. I'd assumed you'd been taken back to the hospital, to be honest. Indeed I was, but I managed to escape again. Oh. I happen to be aware of one or two foibles of the doctor who was tending to me. I merely made my knowledge of them known to the man, and he happily issued me with a leave of absence. How very above board. But enough of my adventures. It was a fine victory, Mr. Naruhodo. Your tireless efforts justly rewarded, I feel. Congratulations are in order. As a close friend, I tip my hat at you. Oh, thank you. Some great detective you are. Great at being cold as ice, maybe. Have I irked you in some way, Miss Lestrade? Oh, you've been having a snooze in your nice soft bed. Some of us have been fighting for our lives. Ah, well, that bullet did cause me to lose a substantial amount of blood, it's true. So I have indeed been feeling somewhat cold. Not perhaps as cold as ice, but, well, have a feel. Could you take your hands off my neck, please, Mr. Shlomes? And in some way, I suppose, congratulations are in order for you too, Miss Lestrade. What's that supposed to mean? Why so half-hearted? Well, naturally. It isn't my intention to alarm you, but... an acquittal in a trial with that particular prosecutor is perhaps a little precarious? Well done, Mr. Shlomes, not alarming in the slightest. Oh, the Reaper, you mean? To anyone who's found not guilty in the trial he was working on winds up dead anyway, is that it? The very point I was trying to make. That's exemplified by the fate of McGilded, in fact. Ah, but of course, I pay no attention to such irrational drivel myself. Yeah, well, it don't bother me. Oh, really? Of course not. The way I see it, the Reaper's a bit like him upstairs. Him upstairs? You mean, like, God? Yeah, him upstairs knows what's what, right? Knows what people are like on the inside. He won't have got the wrong end of the stick. There's some cows that, like that bog trotter, what are rotten to the core. At the end of the day, him upstairs makes sure they got what they deserve. I suppose that's one way of looking at it. Divine justice is one thing, though. Reaper taking matters into his own hands and claiming lives is another. Well, I ain't like the McGildeds of this world, so I ain't scared. Got principles, see? Trait in which is to be admired, Miss Lestrade. Oi! Just give it a rest, alright? As I was saying, congratulations are in order. The news of your acquittal was very welcome news to me indeed. Let me express my heartfelt congratulations, Gina. Well, there you are, Hurley. How long have you been here? Honestly, I went to the main entrance especially to meet you there. Ah, Iris, my dear, I do apologize. But wait until I tell you what happened. This pair made utter fools of themselves. What happened? As you know, I have a penchant a disguise, I was hiding in this room dressed as a bailiff. But these tolts didn't notice my presence at all. They had no idea. Can you imagine, Iris? Would you credit it? Not sure, really. I beg your pardon? I'm sorry, Hurley, but just don't have the weighty presence you seem to think you have. In fact, you really ought to be careful about that. It's going to land you in trouble one day. Aww. I'll be careful. Ouch. Anyway, it's such a shame. I'm so hoping to throw a party for Ginny tonight. But you won't be able to come, will you? Don't look like I'm gonna be going nowhere for a while. You heard the judge's patter. I've got stuff to make amends for, apparently. All them offences. What was it again? Breaking and entering? Taking the bog-trotter's stuff? What was in the lug? Blah blah blah. Yes, I think you'll find that basically being a pickpocket is the main offence. Diving ain't an offence. It's a job, innit? I don't think so. Still, yeah, it's got me thinking, all this. Maybe I should start looking for another line of work. I mean, you didn't start off as a lawyer, did you, Oda? Well, no. But I was never a pickpocket. Well, anyway, I reckon I can make a change. Gotta do something for all them lot like me from the slums. Something that makes a difference for them. It's a wonderful idea, Ginny. And I'm sure you can do it. What is it? Nothing. Oh, Miss Gina Lestrade. Prison carriage has arrived, ma'am. Go with me to the rear gate at once. Right. Well, looks like I'm off then. Yes, goodbye, Gina. And good luck. Odo? Yes? Alright, take your time. Good! What was that for? I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to say, so... Ah, indeed. Perhaps the situation calls for a phrase hitherto missing from your vocabulary, Miss Lestrade. Eh? On occasions such as this, I would recommend a simple thank you. Oh. Oh yes. It's good advice, Ginny. Right, I see. Well. Thanks, Odo. Aww. Thank you for everything, what you've done, for believing in me. Not at all. In fact, that should be my line. Thank you, Gina. Aw, she's adorable. Well, there she goes. I wonder if I'll ever see her again. Well, quite the indomitable pick purse. Oh, I nearly forgot. Brought a paper outside. It's a special edition and this trial is all over the front page. Pickpocket's innocence proven. Isn't it wonderful? I should have shown it to Gina, Iris. Should have been thrilled. Oh no. How silly of me. Ah, but anyway. Would you like the good news or the bad news? Oh, not again. Well, what do you say, Runo? Hurley? As usual, I think I'd rather get the bad news out of the way first. Absolutely not. I have no intention of listening to anything but good news. And there you have it. How people answer that question says a lot about them, doesn't it? Let's not go there. Alright then. Maybe let's start with the good news this time. The rain has finally stopped. It was a record level of rainfall, apparently. Oh, that is good news indeed. You can journey back in greater comfort. Alright then, what's the bad news? Huge storm has left the seas very choppy. The channel in particular is awful, so sailings out of Dover have been delayed by a day or more. Wait, Dover? That's right. If we head to the station immediately, we may still make it in time to wave Susie off. But it won't be a train, surely. We couldn't be that lucky. Who do you think I am, Mr. Naruhodo? Mr. Shlomes? I rushed to Victoria Station earlier and made arrangements for a special express. If we hurry now, we shall be there in time for dinner. And I know of a fine restaurant that serves the most delicious baked sole. The great detective does it again. Indeed he does. I happen to be aware of a number of the rail transport director's foibles. What? I merely made my knowledge of them known to the man, and he happily laid on the locomotive. Elementary. Just an idea, but it might be wise to stop manipulating people that way. What are we waiting for then? To London Victoria. Quite. '18th of April, 5:32 a.m. Port of Dover, quayside. That took somewhat longer than I had anticipated. Susie's boat must be about to leave now. Miss Susato, where are you? There. Over there, look. Looks like she's reading something. Hold it! Miss Susato, wait! What are you doing? Mr. Naruhodo, what are you doing here? We came as soon as we could after the trial. I mean, we heard that sailings were being delayed due to the bad weather, you see. Oh, that smile. Oh, I see. Then tell me, how did Gina's trial go? It went well. She was acquitted. That's wonderful. Really wonderful news. The book you were about to throw into the sea. It was your Encyclopedia of British Law, wasn't it? Oh dear. I was hoping you hadn't seen that. I'm not worthy of practicing law in any way now. So, saying my final farewell. You're saying goodbye to law? You? Susato-san? Would I be correct in assuming? It's because of the peephole, Miss Susato. I deliberately altered the scene of a crime, and then I tried to hide the fact. What I did is utterly unforgivable. That reminds me. How did you even come to have this, Susie? On the evening of the incident, Mr. Shlomes had invited Gina to dinner, if you remember. Oh yes, we had a wonderful time. Well, Gina gave us a little introductory lesson, didn't she? With the art of pickpocketing, I mean. Oh, that was so much fun. I stole Runa's armband. Yes, please don't do that again, Iris. That band's very important to me. And if it's so important, you shouldn't pay more attention to it. Didn't notice for ages. On a whim, I thought it'd be fun to see if I could take the cat flapper mat. I put it up my sleeve. Really? Then I rather forgot about it, till I found myself in Mr. Windybank's shop with it later that night. I see. And then... Oh! Mr. Shlomes! Mr. Shlomes! Leave me, Mr. Naruhodo. Right. After Mr. Naruhodo left the shop, I started to think. A door started to play on my mind. Storeroom door, you mean? Yes. If Gina was anywhere in the shop, I realized it could only be behind that door. And at that moment, the little device that I had up my sleeve sprang to mind. I was so worried about Gina. I simply had to know. So, you used the cat flapper mat to make the peephole in the door. As captured in a photographic print of the shop. By one of Hurley's red-handed recorders. Indeed. It was of the first importance, that point. Precisely when the peephole was made, the information would prove to be Mr. Naruhodo's greatest weapon. Though naturally, without proof, it would have amounted to nothing. But when I looked through the hole in the door, the sight that met my eyes made my blood run cold. Thoughts started to run through my mind. I remembered that trial 2 months earlier. The trial of Magnus McGilded. Thought about how he had manipulated the evidence and arranged false testimony to secure his freedom. It made the British justice system very dark and sinister to me. And then, a terrible thought occurred to me. What if some wicked criminal was planning to do the same thing now? Because from the appearance of the crime scene, it's exactly as though Gina had shot Mr. Windybank. Even though I was sure she would never have done such a thing, I worried that the true culprit would try to frame her for the crime. That's right. Then I realized it would be very difficult for anyone to give false testimony in this case. What do you mean? Well, the crime appeared to have happened behind the door of a locked room. Someone to claim falsely to have witnessed it. There would have to be a way to see beyond the door. Ah. Which, a peephole would be the very thing. Only the peephole I had made wasn't actually there until after the crime had been committed, of course. And the criminal would know that. So it wouldn't make any difference. But the possibility of a rather ingenious trap was there, was it not? A trap? Is that why she did it? So, is that why you kept it a secret, Susie? You never mentioned that you made the peephole to anyone. Not even to the police. I know. I knew at the time what I was doing was wrong. Criminal offense, even. So I decided to confide in Mr. Shlomes. But Mr. Naruhodo was completely backed into a corner. No other possible means of escape. The truth about the peephole could save him. That was my plan. It really does think of everything. But then, why didn't you just tell me everything before the trial began? My dear fellow, you're not thinking straight. If she had done that, I'd have rendered you complicit in the whole escapade. Ah. You could have been disbarred if you had been seen to have knowingly tampered with a crime scene. So Miss Suso decided to shoulder the burden of responsibility alone. For your sake, and Miss Lestrade's. Miss Susato. The truth is, when it happened, I did it because I'd lost a little of my faith in the law. Oh. I was worried that the right person wouldn't be convicted of the crime. But the moment I allowed myself to think that, the moment I lost my right to call myself a judicial assistant. What you did isn't comparable to what he did. Braden is the one who lied in the witness stand, using that peephole as a way to implicate Gina. And besides, if the peephole inconsistency hadn't existed, I'm not at all sure that she would have been acquitted in the end. Miss Susato, what you did saved Gina's life. Well, with your kind words, Mr. Naruhodo, you've saved me too from my regrets. Aww. Well, you must all be thankful that Miss Lestrade's freedom has been assured. Yes, exactly. Although some of the loose ends in that trial will continue to play on my mind, I'm sure. The The revelation that the music box disc contained secret messages? Mr. Naruhodo. What a triumph to work that out. I'm full of admiration. Well, actually, the argument wasn't quite as compelling as I thought it was. Oh? It wasn't? There was a communications officer among the jury members, you see. A telegraph operator. And she said that the majority of the sounds on the disc were just meaningless tones. As one would expect, after all, we are talking about secret government communications. No doubt they were written in a cipher, to avoid being readily understood, should they have been intercepted. In cipher? I see. Then we could never have hoped to understand the message anyway. Nonsense, my dear fellow. It's quite a zero-pipe problem, I assure you. Sogi. What? Well, that can't be a real word, can it? How funny. It's in Japanese. Wait. Iris, what did you just say? Oh, I just said asogi. Does that word mean something to you? Mean something? Asogi was the name of my best friend. What? But how? How do you know that name, Iris? I wrote it down during the trial before. Then the message was playing on the music box. She transcribed it on the fly? She really is a genius. I thought the message probably wouldn't be written out in plain Morse code, so I tried various ways to interpret it. Whatever I tried, the words just didn't seem to make any sense. That is, in English at least. Oh. It suddenly occurred to me, you see? There's more than one Morse code, not just the English variety. Various countries around the world have altered and added to Morse code to use it in their own languages. I don't believe it. Are you saying... That's right. I've only actually seen a chart of Japanese Morse code once before. But I think it's based on the... Iroha pangram, isn't it? Ara? You mean to say that in Japanese Morse code the message says asogi? Yes, I think so. Sorry, but I don't remember all of the Japanese Morse code. Iris, would you let me see that? Miss Suzuto, do you know it? Do you know Japanese Morse code? Yes, I spent some time studying it. Because I'm quite sure Morse code will become ever more important for international communications. Then might I recommend, my dear madam, that you focus your efforts on the English version? Be that as it may, Iris, show me the message, please. Of course. Well, but what can this possibly mean? Whatever is in that long sequence of supposedly meaningless dots and dashes, it's made the color drain from Suzuto-san's face. There's no doubt that this message is written in Japanese Morse code. The British Empire has been using Japanese for its secret communications? I don't understand the reason why, but the message appears to be a list of 4 people's names. 4 names. First is Kei Asogi. Kazuma Asogi. Why was his name on that disc? The second is A. Shin. Shin? I don't recognize that name. Third is T. Gregson? Gregson? It would seem Tobias Gregson is the 3rd man on the list. And what's his name doing in a secret government communication as well? And the last name. What's the matter, Miss Suzuto? It's just so strange. So unexpected. Oh, what is it, Susie? Don't keep us in suspense. The last name is J. Wilson. What? Wilson? John H. Wilson? You mean Daddy? Oh my. It says only J. Wilson, so I'm afraid I can't be sure. Then, after the 4 names it reads, I translate from Japanese, And that is all for. That's the end of the message. Or rather, the end of what you noted down, Iris. I just can't believe it. Who would ever have thought that those discs contain Japanese Morse code? Not to mention a strange list of some disturbingly familiar names. It would appear that this particular message is a communication of some kind between Great Britain and the Empire of Japan. So, Daddy could be in Japan then, where Susie and Runa come from. Oh, well, no, it's not very likely really, is it? I mean, there are thousands of people with the surname Wilson, and there must be lots of J's among them. Yeah. Professor John H. Wilson, visiting professor of medicine at the Imperial Yume University. I can't tell Iris about that now. Just can't. This is so strange. Somehow, in solving the case of Mr. Windybank's murder today, I feel like I've rolled back a boulder at the mouth of a very dark cave. I do wonder. Perhaps it's a dark cave that we shouldn't go wandering inside. Indeed. Oh dear. The ship is going to set sail soon. Yes, it seems so. I'll sail on that steamship first to the port of Dunkirk in France. And I'll change onto a larger passenger vessel bound for Japan. You're really going then, Susie? We wish you a safe passage, Miss Susato. Thank you so much. Wish all of you the very best. Susato, I had hoped to have you always at my side to guide and support me. Mr. Naruhodo, please, come back soon. As far as I'm concerned, you really are the very best judicial assistant in the world. I'm quite sure I'll be back before you know it. Really, Susie? Oh, now don't forget, Iris. I made you a promise I've yet to fulfill. A promise? About your manuscript. Ah. Oh yes, the Hound of the Baskervilles. Well, I'll be waiting for you then, Susie. A promise is a promise. Definitely, Iris. Mr. Naruhodo? Yes? You remember the first time we met? Yes, of course. On the SS Burya, when I was dragged out from that wardrobe still half asleep. If I remember rightly, you threw me halfway across the cabin with a Susato takedown. You know very well what I'm talking about after that. It's strange, but being thrown together as we were in that case, somehow felt straight away that you were the perfect person to continue Cousin Masama's great legacy. Miss Susato. And my instincts were right. I really want to believe. No, I'm sure that I'll be back soon. Farewell until then.
Somehow we seem to have come to the end of the adventures of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Or the first volume, at least. Looking back now, it feels as though fate has led me on this journey. Fate led me to becoming a lawyer, to traveling halfway around the world, to meeting the great detective. I'm sure there'll be trials and tribulations ahead. Of course there will. But whatever happens, I know I'll be able to turn my fortunes around. After all, I have the greatest friends in the world on my side.
What now? Ah, yes, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, Mr. Sholmes. I have some rather awkward news. The railway company has decided to sue over the special express train, apparently. Huh? It caused such a commotion on the line. All the other trains had to wait at stations. But really, we would never have made it to Dover in time otherwise. Anyway, I explained everything. Now it is all your fault. Huh? Huh? I believe a formal complaint should be delivered to your office tomorrow. But not to worry, my dear fellow. According to Miss Suzuto, you love defending yourself in court. It's alright, I'm perfectly happy to testify. He really didn't look like the sort of man who'd do something so outrageous. See? Mr. Sholmes? Yes? A word, if you don't mind. Why, certainly. Any word you like. Bellow it out, my dear fellow. Oh yes, I love Runo's words. No, just the one he'll use here. Then, I really must say...
Objection!
Really? I assume this is going to be the credits. There we go then. Right, so let's get the opinion of the game out of the way. Obviously we will be going into the second one at some point in the future. We've got other things to do before we go there, but we will be doing it, don't worry. In the following weeks, hundreds of music boxes arrived at Baker Street from all over Europe. Something was afoot, though it transpired I had ordered them all myself. To advertise them for sale with used by Mr. Sholmes to solve an important case. And the money I've earned, supporting detective work pays a pittance by comparison. Oh dear. But yeah, the game itself, it's sort of like... I kind of have issues with it compared to the previous ones I've played, the previous Ace Attorneys. I haven't slept a wink. This manuscript is due tomorrow now. When I'm this busy, Hurley usually cooks me breakfast. Well, cooks is an overstatement. For some dry toast and insipid coffee, I do miss Susie and her lovely Japanese breakfast. But yeah, I'm obviously gonna have to wait until we get past these guys before I spill my thoughts. Witness, your testimony is riddled with contradictions. Exactly. Rarely do rare Common coins hide under rare stakes themselves. Well, I do know, sir, knows his father is an innocent man, or are you calling my son a liar? Witness, my courtroom is no place for your petty arguments. It's been so long since we did the Japanese court. I wonder if we'll go back to that in the second one. Having delivered the Russian dancer to shore in Shanghai, I laid low on the steamship for a while. But last night, I apprehended an extremely suspicious Japanese national on board. I've done nothing wrong. All I did was give Akai's offspring refuge in my pocket. A man brings some kittens on board and suddenly he's a hardened criminal. It's not fair. Oh dear. I do wonder what the curse was all about then. Doesn't seem to have actually produced anything. Scientific investigation will be the gold standard for policing in the new age. I dream of a world governed by the tenets of order and discipline. Like a great clock, in fact, its hundreds of parts meshed together in perfect unison. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have but 2 minutes and 37 seconds until my next appointment. So you still need to know about the Crystal Tower and stuff, which I assume again is going to be the next game. We shall see though. The latest Rants magazine is out and I'm in it again. Whenever I say that one line she wrote now, I get a standing ovation. Wanna hear it? Not bad, I suppose, for an amateur. Glug, glug, glug. You drink your tea, mate. Ah, her ladyship puts me to shame. It was kind of fun to be in Britain, though, as a setting. Court system is completely not like that, by the way. Been visiting the old girl on a daily basis, of course. Joining my old jailbird. Must say, battling with those bally stares every day has done wonders. The Dicky Peg. Managing rather well with the housework too. Got this maid business tipped up, I'd say. This gossip neighbours don't realise the man of the house is his own maid. Yes, quite. At least your cheek feels better, I suppose. My Rolly is back on the beat again. All thanks to the Reaper. There's nothing I enjoy more these days than hunting out small change in the gutter. I'm better Bobby now. Looking out for Londoners. They dropped 8 minutes and my lovely wife. Oh, Pat. Oh, Rolly. Dear oh dear. It's weird their eyes are still doing shinies. Are they stuck? Looks like I'm gonna be doing time for a bit now. But Iris comes every day for a natter, so it ain't too boring. She's always going on about all them cases what Shlomes is looking into. Criminal investigations are kinda interesting, when you get into them. Yes, maybe you become a detective. Yourself. Detective G. Lestrade just doesn't sound right. Yes, I'd announced my upbringing and chose a life of sophisticated crime, but regrets? Please. Give over, bruv. Ain't the Ash we used to know. We got time in here to plan the comeback of Milvet and Scorkin's milk run, right? 3 what's-its? Milk in the neighborhood for all it's worth. I'm waiting for a moment now, like, are we getting to, like, the proper credits? This past 6 months has been a time I shall remember forevermore. Painful goodbyes and wonderful encounters. And to realize that's what life is all about. Nadahoda-san, promise? Your assistant will return to you one day. But for now, I leave you with many memories and a heartfelt wish that life will treat you well. Ah, it's quite lovely, isn't it? That's a lovely picture. Yay, a kitty. Is it gonna say Finn? Nope, she's gonna fade out. Alright then. Well, do you want me to save or not? Oh! It's a proper credits now. Can I do me speaky speaks? Like a tapestry. I assume it's going. Yeah, there we go. Voice actors. Oh, I like got the English ones there as well. That's kind of cool. Kind of cool. Oh, it's like a little journey about what we've done and stuff like that. That is cool as well. But, right, so in terms of the game itself, I will say the characters are fantastic. Absolutely love them. Very much in keeping there with like Ace Attorney and how that all is. Music, fantastic. Visuals, clearly an upgrade, clearly fantastic. All that type of stuff. But let's get down to that. What happened with her? She's going to come back, I feel. She's going to be connected to everything because of the killing of Wilson. I do think that was Wilson, wasn't it? You know, Iris is dead. But what I'm very much thinking to myself is like, there was something I'd say that The game wasn't that hard. I genuinely felt like the Ace Attorneys I played previously were harder. It felt more like a visual novel. Because it was just, I didn't have to do much thinking, really. There wasn't any, like, massive theories I had to do. It was just sort of like we just had to keep going through the motions until we were ready for the next bit. It just... Something about it just felt very... It does feel more visual novel. It feels very easy. It's some of the stuff where it's like I'd already figured it out. I had to go through the motions of, like, them figuring it out. It's like, come on, it should be obvious at this point. It's very, very strange. And then there's also the aspect of, like, it kept re-explaining itself. Like, especially with the having to go cross-eyed to see things pop out in 3D. It's like, yeah, I know. You keep telling me. You told me like 16 times now to do this. Why do you keep telling me I know how to do it? It's just little things like that that make me sort of like, It's like, well, I did enjoy it. Absolutely, like, enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. And I do plan on going to the second one, like I said, in future. I'd still rate it below the previous Ace Attorneys that I've played. Like the first 3, the trilogy there. It's like, they still feel better to me in terms of their storytelling and their actual difficulty level, I'd say. That's what I feel in it all. But, obviously, that's just pretty much done for this Let's Play. But for now, in terms of like Ace Attorney and stuff like that. And we'll see you in very much anything else you want to watch next. So let's get the housekeeping done. If you do want to support the channel, you can do on Patreon. There's a link down in the description. Press the subscribe button. Press the bell to remain updated with the notifications. Donate blood. Yep. It's like I always run out of like, well, what am I going to say? Like, is there other stuff I'm going to say? I don't care, really. Donate blood. That's the important thing. You'll save someone's life if you can. If you can donate blood, please do think about it. You'll be surprised how much it could save someone's life. Easily could save someone's life. So, thank you very much for watching, and we'll let the thank you very much for watching. I don't know what I just said then. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you around all this type of stuff. And I'll let these credits play out. Ta-ta for now.